In the 21st century, the dream of owning a house in the States has become just that, a dream, as a growing housing crisis makes it incredibly difficult for ordinary people to find affordable housing. The roots of this crisis can be traced back decades to a complex web of laws and policies. In this video, I will take a deep dive into the housing crisis, exploring where it came from, its impact, and the potential ways to fix it. So, a housing crisis is the situation in which there is a shortage of affordable housing. This leads to outcomes such as homelessness, overcrowding, high housing costs, and it can even lead to a recession as we saw in 2008. There are many reasons why there could be a housing crisis. Some of these are inflation, urbanization, sudden population growth, and government policies such as the zoning laws. It does not come as a surprise that we have a housing crisis today because of lack of affordable housing. But why is that? Well, here are a few reasons why there is a housing shortage. One of the biggest reasons why there are so few affordable houses is because of zoning laws. These are laws that divide up pieces of land in cities into zones that dictate what they're going to be used for. Some of these zones are for residential, commercial, and industrial use. The residential zones are primarily where houses are built. The zoning laws can make building some type of houses illegal, something we see a lot of in cities. Now, let's take San Francisco as an example. This is one of the hardest cities to find affordable housing. This is because of their zoning laws. As you can see on this map, the red parts are places where apartments are illegal, and this is around 73% of the city. Many of the zoning laws that make it illegal to build apartments are there because of the potential decrease in property value. Another reason for this sudden housing crisis is the prices of housing. In this graph from CNBC based on numbers from Census Bureau, you can see the correlation between housing prices and the median household income. In the 10 last years, the prices has gone up a lot while the income is about the same. And after 2020, the prices have gone up a lot. So why have houses become so expensive? Well, there's an obvious answer to that. Supply and demand. There's always demand for housing, and with a finite number of houses for sale, the competition is always there. The population is also always growing, so every year more and more people need housing. The housing crisis has far-reaching consequences that affect individuals, families, and communities. For those who are unable to afford housing, the consequences can include homelessness, overcrowding, and lack of stability. For many that can't afford houses, the solution is renting. Today, based on a study from Harvard, 44 million households are being rented. Also, in the age group under 35, 75% of them rent. One example of the impact of the housing crisis is Taryn Rollins, a 55-year-old bus driver who works long hours for an independent contractor hired by tech companies in Silicon Valley. Rollins and many other drivers are unable to afford housing close to their jobs, leading them to live in their cars or nap at a bus depot. While some companies have raised wages and offered better benefits for their contract workers, many still struggle to find ends meet. For the individuals like Rollins, the housing crisis affects their quality of lives and poses serious health and safety risks. So how can we fix this complex crisis? One way to fix the housing crisis is to increase funding for affordable housing. Governments could invest more money to build and maintain affordable housing units or provide subsidies for private developers to build affordable housing units. This would help increase the supply of affordable housing and provide more options for low-income households. The second way to fix the housing crisis is reform to zoning laws. Zoning laws can often restrict the development of new housing, particularly in areas where there is high demand for housing already. Reforming zoning laws could help increase supply of housing in many areas, making it easier for people to find affordable housing.